Hello and good morning. Yes, it is 9 a.m. Oh man, it was a rough night. I ate something that didn't agree with me, so I slept in here at my buddy's house. Anyway, let's head to Nashville, Tennessee. Oh man, okay, well let's eyeball this. We have a range of 278 miles. Now, as you recall, at 90%, that was 287, something like that yesterday. We lost about 10 miles, but look at the temperature. Yeah, it's 40. We came down from in the 70s to 40. So it just goes to show you the Ford software here in the Lightning rolls back the range depending upon temperature. All right, well, our shot today, let's set up a navigation here. We're set up to go to Nashville here, and let's have a look to see exactly how we can make that happen. All right, so with this range of 278, it wants us to go all the way over here to St. Louis for our first charge stop. Looks okay. It's on the west side of St. Louis. I think we've been there. Then down 64, and then down 57 to 24 to Paducah, and on to Nashville. You can tell when the battery is warmer and we have more range in the Lightning. Of course, we have less charge stops. But I'm going to stop my first stop. I'm going to mess it up here a little bit. I'm going to stop in a place called Boonville, and I need to stop there, and it's about 200 or I should say 2 hours from here. So we're going to set the nav to Boonville. I'm not going to add it to the normal nav. It's too much screwing around. So we'll go ahead and cancel this, and then just navigate to Boonville, and then we'll let the internal nav take us all the way to Nashville. After that, I'd prefer to stop at this EV Go here in Fairview Heights, Illinois, down to Paducah, and then down. All right, well, let's get the first one set up here. Let's go to chargers. Select the large one here with the 3 dashes. And Harrison Park, Independence, Topeka, Boonville, right here. Okay, it's 100 miles. That's where we're going to stop for the first stop. As you see, it's down Interstate 70. All right, well, let's hit the road. I've got a long ways to go, and I'm not sure what my arrival time will be in Nashville, but it's okay. I've reset the trip meter at 374 miles in yesterday's run from Hayes all the way to Peculiar here. All right, 128 miles, 277 in the GOM, the Gesso meter. I've now made it up here on Interstate 70 eastbound, east of Kansas City. 86 miles to go to Boonville. Looks like we're driving straight into this wind. Look at that. I am tooling down Interstate 70 and all is good. Now, why am I able to go further and further? Well, have a look. Temperature is 44. Well, it was 44 yesterday, but there's a little funny thing that went on, in my opinion. First thing was the temperature got up to 70 yesterday. And there's this thing called hysteresis when you do certain things, like a thermostat. Thermostat doesn't wobble back and forth between on and off. It has to go past the set point and then turn on, and then past the lower set point to turn off. Otherwise, it would sit there and rattle. I suspect the battery here is very much like that, or at least the software that controls the battery. And they wanted to give me more range, which they did yesterday. As you saw, it was 187. This morning it had dropped in temperature, and it was 160 something. And I suspect the warmer it gets, the more mileage I'll have. And that set point appears to be right around 50 degrees, in my opinion. I have no scientific way to check other than empirical data that I did all in the last month here. And I believe that that's the case. So if I get above 50, the mileage starts increasing, and if I get below, it starts decreasing. At least that's my story, and I'll stick to it. Let's have a look around. Yep, just off at Boonville here, exit 103. Walmart's been pretty good about hosting the Electrify America stuff, and I think they probably have gotten maybe a little more business as a result. I don't know. Walmart and the EA station. Been here.
Turn left, then take the first left.
I've been here several times. Looks like they're all maybe functioning. That's pretty cool. All right, we've arrived with 56 miles on the GOM, 27% in the battery, and if we take a look at the trip data, this first leg, we've averaged 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour, 121.5 miles, so that's pretty good. All right, well, let's get this plugged in. We got a long ways to go today. Clicking and clacking. Come on, baby. Check. Come on. All right. Let's set up our final destination and see how the navigation works. Should be a pretty easy thing. There's only a couple of ways to go. So we're going to go to Recents, and we're going to Nashville. Couple of ways to go. It looks to me like the indicated spot there seems to be pretty good. With this state of charge, the navigation wants us to, it looks at it and it says, oh, you only have 57%, so we can't take you the whole way. The planning should be different than the actual what's on the car. Yeah, I get it. If you want to just set the planning and leave right now, then this is the way to go. So I know from my experience, it should say it here, but we won't get into that. This is the EA station west of downtown St. Louis. I'm going to let the range ring, which is this here, continue to expand. And I wanted to go here in Fairview Heights at the 150 kW EV Go. That's where I'd like to go. Anyway, let's let this cook a little bit, and then we'll rerun this test. You see what I did now? I let it charge. We're at 80%. The charge current's going to drop off here. But our arrival percentage at the EV Go, Fairview Heights in Illinois, keeps me having to stop anywhere here. It is, we arrive with 18%, and then we only charge in Paducah, and then down here we arrive. So that gives us 2 more charge stops. I'm going to let it charge just a little more, even though the charge power has dropped off here, but that's okay. We'll let it go to like 82 or something like that, and we'll make sure. It's 82%, and our arrival percentage is 21 now, and at the EV Go, and so that's what we're going to do. Let's unplug and move on down the road. We're up on the interstate now, and I wanted to point out that, of course, the Blue Cruise, it doesn't show it. The percentage is about 81%. It's only 213 miles of range. So that really sucks. But it's because it's colder. It hasn't got much up above my 50-degree mark here. We'll see. This is the west crossing of the Missouri River. And you can see they're building a brand new bridge over there. I'm going to replace this older riveted bridge here. I guess 60 doesn't apply to TLI truckers. east of Columbia now. Hey, let's do an energy check. 136 miles on the Gesso-meter, 107 to go. And what's that say? 56% left in the battery. I think we're good on energy, but I'm not so sure about my energy. Let's have a look around. This is New Florence, Missouri.
In 800 feet, turn right on Humble Road, then take the first left.
All right. Come on, there we go. Had the auto steer on here. All right, well, let's see. We're gonna make a right. Looks like here.
Turn right on Regency Parkway.
All right, well, here we are. Yeah, there's a Mach-E there pulling into position.
In 400 feet, turn right, then take the first right.
Go find myself a 350. Ride with 39 miles of GOM range, 0 of course because we're here. All right, let's get it plugged in. Not very legible. All right, let's see what we get. Okay. All right, I'll buy that for $1. We've got 21%. Let's go all the way to Nashville like we planned. See what the car reports. Let's go to Nashville here. Yeah, I would like to continue charging. We're at 65%, so we can go to Paducah. I really don't want to go here, so we'll just let it charge for a while, and when it gets up 80%, we'll rerun the navigation, and it will recalculate our stops here. Because this way I only have to charge one more time, and that's in Paducah. Yeah, I could go through Cape Girardeau and all that, but you know what? My stomach is not happy. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well, and I just want the most direct route. So that's what we're doing. If we look at the temperature of the battery of 52 degrees, that's Evie Dave. That's me. Guesstimate of the trip point. Now we're slightly over, but if you look at the range at 80%, it's not very far. So it looks like maybe 200 miles when this 79 goes to 80. This is a 312 or 320 mile battery, but it must be warm enough to do that. And if it's not, Ford derates it and you don't get it where it is. So if you look at this, 80% at 52 degrees nets you 194 of the GOM, the Gesso-meter. That is a prediction based on a bunch of factors. Ford's GOM has been decent, but there's no tracking it because this temperature here is the variable. If this calculation between percentage and miles was consistent, but you have to factor in the temperature of the battery at the time, or I should say, perceived temperature. We're now at 80%. Let's recalculate this. Go to Nashville. Geez. It still wants us to charge in Mount Vernon. That's fine. You know what? I'm not going to fight it. We'll stop in Mount Vernon, get a little charge, and then head south. the longer we wait, the more time we waste. So let's unplug and head that way. You can see out in the distance the arch, St. Louis.
3/4 of a mile, keep right toward Illinois.
So there's the famous arch of St. Louis. I think the last time I came here was at night, and you guys got to see this bridge at night. Well, we get to see it today in the daylight. Let the trucker get over. It's a very magnanimous bridge. Just like that, we're in Illinois, leaving Missouri. And that went over the Mississippi River. Let's have a look around here out in the country, Illinois. All right, looks like an arrival percentage of 38%. We're currently at 56. 41 miles, it says. We're at about 10 miles to our destination here at the EA in Mount Vernon. 83 on the guessometer, 10 on the thing, and 39 in the battery. We are off the highway, and we'll turn right up here at the light.
In 1/4 mile, turn right on Illinois 15. Turn left, then arrive at Electrify America, Walmart Supercenter. In 300 feet, arrive at Electrify America, Walmart Supercenter, on the right, then make a U-turn.
Really? Okay.
Arriving at Electrify America,
we'll see if we can find
Supercenter, on the right, then make a U-turn.
iPower one here. Make sure we're functioning. I can't remember the last time I was here. Let me make sure that it's working. All right, let's get it done. Really? Oh, crap. Come on, this is number 2. Comes up, and it drops to 35. I'm moving. All right, charger number 2. Let's see what we get. Just when I thought I was having a good day. Come on now. I need more than 35 kilowatts. Alright, well I'll buy that for $1. Come on. Well, that's typical of a 150, so that's good. I'm here at Mount Vernon EA station. Let's have a look here. Spoke with a gal with an ID4 that has 3 years of free charging. She reports this one puts out 150, and as you can see, it's a 150. However, she reports that both 350s are a whopping 35 kilowatts. That 350, and then this one over here, and I've tested both. I forgot when I was here last time, so I'm plugged into the 150. It gives me 126 with this battery. 150s never put out 150 on an EA, but the 350s put out 166, so that's cool. Let's see what we got going. Yeah, see, 128, 129. That's all right. I'm not going to complain. I'm getting juice. We'll go where to. We'll do chargers. I'll pick the high power chargers. And our next stop is, as you know, of course, they only tell you the street, but not the city. Whatever. We're looking for, not Clarksville, we're looking for Paducah. Must be 12, okay? There it is. Okay, 87 miles. Got 131 on the GOM. And let's go. All right, we'll see what the arrival percentage is.
Please drive to highlighted route. The expected delay due to traffic is 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have no choice. All right, well, there you go. 15% on arrival. I'm going to charge some more until this shows up to be about 20, and then we're good to go. Let's have a look here at our state of charge and our arrival percentage. According to this, we're arriving at 27%. It's 98 miles to Paducah, so let's go. Just into Paducah, Kentucky here now. Gonna go over to the EA charger and charge up enough to get home. I am gonna get a nap. I never get naps.
Turn left, then take the first right.
Well, let's see.
When possible, make a U-turn.
No, it's right here. All right, what do we got?
Arriving at Electrify America, Walmart Supercenter.
Okay, let's hook this up. All right, well, 145 is fine. All right. Wow, that's a first. I took a half an hour nap here while I was charging. I'm at 80%. I think that's probably fine. I think I'm going to run inside and use the little boy's room and then come back out and get out of here. I think we got plenty of range. Kind of nice. Take a nap. I was about falling over here. I'm in Paducah and we're charged. All right, let's get unplugged and head to Nashville. All right, we are charged. I'm cold. I don't know why. Anyway, let's hit it that way. Recents, Nashville, 123 miles. All right, we be good. Let's get out of here.
Obey traffic laws. Be alert and use voice commands while driving.
All right, we're almost about to get on the interstate. Let's do a couple things. See our arrival percentage. 28%. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm on Interstate 24 and heading south. What's it say? 133 miles to go. And I will tell you, that nap was a refresher. Man, I didn't get much sleep last night. My stomach was causing trouble. And I think I only got 3 hours or something. And yeah, I laid back at the EA station, put it on charge. It was about a 30-minute charge. And that was it. Man, I was out. I feel great. Just tooling down Interstate 24. Running Blue Cruise. And all is good. It works a lot better at night. Oh, look at this. Going over the bridge. Don't know what river We are getting there now. Looks like 29 miles to go, and we'll be at the house. 22 miles get off the highway, and there's not a lot of traffic here, which is great. We're getting there now. 7.9 miles to the off-ramp. A little this way, that way, and I think we'll be home. I made it home here in Nashville. 41 miles left over, and it was a good day. Let's have a look here at our trip. All right, 571.9, 10 hours and 24 minutes, and an average of 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Today was the roughest trip I've ever done. Yeah, 572 miles, and I got to tell you, the night before, I went to lunch and dinner with Lee and his wife, and I had Mexican for lunch and I had Mexican for dinner, and it did not agree with me at all. I was up almost all night. My stomach was hurting, and it was terrible. I think I only got a few hours of sleep. Anyway, I slept in a little there at Lee's house, and then went ahead and headed to Nashville, where I'm at now. The trip was more or less uneventful. I'll tell you a little bit about the charging experience. Of course, you saw the video. The bottom line was the charging experience went okay for me. However, you had to be a little MacGyver to make sure you get onto a working charger. Electrify America has a long way to go. I don't know what their problem is and why they can't maintain so many sites. Just in the trip yesterday, and it's the next day now, it was crazy. My first stop in Boonville, Missouri, was uneventful. It appeared all of the 4 chargers were working fine there, the EA chargers. I went on the next stop. I charged enough to get to the EV Go station in Fairview Heights, Illinois. I wasn't going to make it, so I changed it up. I went to a place off Veterans Parkway there, just on the west side of St. Louis, and charged. It appeared that all 4 of the chargers there at that Walmart were operational, which is kind of good to see. I'm not sure why, but I'm happy for it. I went on to the next one. It made me stop in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and that was a different story. The 2 350s were putting out 30 kilowatts, and the 2 150s put out 126 into the lightning. Anyway, I met some gal there in an ID4. She was charging on a 150, and I asked her about it, and she says, no, the 350s never worked and have not worked for as long as she can remember. And she charges on the 150 in her ID4. So I'm not sure why they're not being fixed, but they weren't. I arrived, my next stop was in Paducah, Kentucky, where I had to get my final charge. And I pulled in there and was able to, maybe it's the luck of the draw, I picked the correct charger, and I charged, and it took, 35 minutes or so to get to 80%. I think I arrived there at 30-some%. I don't remember. I'm sure yesterday is going to be forgotten because I was really out of it. You can hear from my voice, I was not doing good. Which I never do. I went ahead and got a Red Bull and sipped that on and off during the day, and that kept me going. But I couldn't hang in there anymore. So, which I've never done, I've actually got my pillow out and took a 30-minute nap, and that made a huge difference in traveling. My buddy Lee does that all the time. He swears by it, and now I can see why. The rest of the trip from Paducah to Nashville was uneventful. The traffic was light, and typically that corridor is very busy. All in all, yesterday's trip went okay. I was like 3 miles of bad road, but I got through it. I got here to the house in Nashville and I zonked out and I slept 12 hours. Tomorrow I'm heading home to Tryon, North Carolina, and I've got some things to do there in North Carolina. But all in all, the trip went okay. The Ford Lightning's range increased, and let's talk about that a little bit. Perhaps you have one or are expecting to purchase one. Let me just tell you a little bit about how it performed in all of this. So it's my opinion through empirical usage of the Lightning that if the temperature is at 50 degrees Fahrenheit or above for a sustained period of time, the truck will show and give you more driving range. So when we were driving on the last leg with Lee back to his place, we noticed that the temperature got up into the 70s. And when I arrived at his house, I plugged it in on level 2 and it charged up. Well, I looked at it, was 287 miles. Well, that was as high as it's ever been on this trip. And it's because the temperature was above 50. That evening, the temperature dropped to 38 or something like that. And I lost immediately 10 miles of range. And then as I started using the Lightning during the day, because of the cooler weather, 40s was most of the day, 46 or 8, something like that, the range consistently started dropping. And it's my opinion that the Lightning software is set up with a hysteresis. So they have what's called hysteresis, which means you need to go past the set point by a certain amount and then it'll turn on. And to turn it back off, it has to go below the set point by a certain amount. So you don't have that instant switching. And I think the software in the Lightning is actually set up that way. I can't swear to it, but again, it's my empirical usage of it. It's what makes me think that. So what does that mean to you? Well, there's no defined temperature at which your truck will have more range. Depending if it went from 40s all the way to 80, once it gets to 80, it'll stay turned on for a while in long range. And then the closer you get to the 50 point, it may start coming down a little bit. And then eventually you're down into the short range of the Lightning. Is this a problem? Yeah, it's a problem. And it's an engineering problem at Ford. They made that decision to switch the range on and off based on a bunch of stuff. I'm no expert, but I am an engineer, and reading the explanation by one of the engineers talking about how the fluids get thick and all that is a bunch of bull. I'll tell you that. But they've chosen to make this thing follow the temperature so that they give a good customer experience. I get it, right? I do, but the choice of battery, the pouch type cells, maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's something else that they're trying to protect, or maybe they just want a good customer experience the whole way. I don't know, but I will tell you, that type of turning back of the range of the Lightning prevented me from getting to the Denver area up to Wyoming. You heard the video, maybe watched it, I guess, but there were no level 2 CCSs within 170 miles of my destination. Well, I know from going as far as Denver that our range was maybe 140, maybe 145 at that temperature range, and there would be no way that I could reach Saratoga, Wyoming from the closest point, which happened to be, I think it's called Frisco along 70 if I went up through Kremling, or perhaps over on the interstate side if I went through Loveland. Yeah, I understand that there's a 62 kilowatt supercharger in Wellington or something like that, but it's 62 kilowatts. Another thing I learned with the Lightning is that with a 131 kilowatt hour battery, charging at 62 kilowatts, you extend your charge time by, I don't know, 40%. And it's ridiculous. I didn't want to wait an hour and a half to charge. And I'm not even sure. Wellington, I think, is 150, and it's still outside of the range. And that is not counting the weather conditions. Remember, to get to Saratoga from Wellington, or whatever it's called, I still have to drive through snow, a 9,100 foot peak, and those kinds of things. So I wasn't going to chance it. For all I know, the thing would derate the range even more on something else. So I couldn't reach that. So my suggestion is, Ford, you really evaluate that and download some new software, and let's increase it. I think going by 50% is ridiculous. I think if you dropped it 25%, it would be reasonable, yet extreme. But I don't agree with that. I don't know. I don't think there's any heaters in the battery. I know there's a cooling thing. Perhaps you can turn it to heat and warm the lower edge of the battery. To me, again, I'm no expert, just empirical design of batteries, but there's absolutely no insulation in or around the battery. That means that when you're driving down the road, all the heat is sucked out of the bottom of the battery and the sides of this big metal battery, and it makes your battery really cool. So anyway, all right, well, enough of that. Today went fine. I managed to pull it out, I guess, through my EV experience. All in all, it was just another day of traveling in the Lightning. If you liked today's video, please give me a like, and if you would, please subscribe, and don't forget to share my videos with your friends. Thanks for watching. I'll look for you in tomorrow's video, and hopefully I'll be home, and take care.